Hi, I'm frequently asked, how did I get into doing vision boards within the field of health and well-being? It's kind of come along on a long journey from, like I've said previously, my designed career, but then also recognizing how our thoughts on a daily basis do attract into our lives, both negative and positive. So it's becoming aware of what we're actually thinking about and being aware of that when things come in. I'm going to share a couple of examples. One went on a vision board, one didn't, but it used exactly the same principle. So you may wonder, what does a doorstop and a child have in common? Both I paid a lot of attention and thought to, and it doesn't actually matter that one is my daughter, so one I actually made and one is a lump of plastic. Where the similarities are, and I'm going to start with the doorstop, some of you will have already heard this story. So we opened here at the clinic 3.5 years ago, and I pretty much moved in the day after I signed the lease. What we found was we'd got really big, heavy fire doors that every time someone came in, the doors would slam shut. We had, between the three businesses, around 1,500 people to our opening weekend event. And as much as there wasn't a great deal here, we were just talking about the services that we were going to offer and what our plans for the future were. What I was conscious of and what I was thinking of a lot of the time, every time I heard the door slam, I thought about this. I thought about, well, it had to be grey because I wanted it to coordinate with the room, but I thought about a doorstop. And because the doors were slamming, I actually just made a very simple doorstop with some plasterboard and wedged the doors open, but then still found myself thinking about a doorstop consistently over the weekend. So how it then panned out, and when I look back and realise what my thinking was, on the Saturday, I'm going to go to the local DIY store on the way home and I'm going to get a doorstop to come in for tomorrow. Of course, we finished late and I didn't get to go to the DIY store. So on the Sunday on the way in, I think, I need to get another doorstop. But what I actually realised I was doing was completely attaching myself to how it was going to happen. Sunday came and went, we still used the plasterboard as the doorstop, and that was it. Went on to the shopping list. So in terms and how we can relate this to our thinking, what we think, what we do, what we say, is sometimes we attach ourselves so much to how we think the outcome is going to be. We actually get to not see anything else that's coming because we've decided it's going to look a certain way. Now, this is a lump of manufactured plastic. On the Monday, following our open weekend, I took our dog out, who wasn't very old at the time, so we were doing recall training. And how I used to do that was to literally go and hide behind a tree in the park and shout her. And then she would come and find me, and that's how we did our puppy training. On the Monday, so the Monday after we'd had the open weekend, we did this, went down to our local park, and I ran off, hid behind a tree, and I looked down. And do you know what was actually by the side of the tree? This. The doorstop that I'd been thinking about consistently for 48 hours. Did I ever in my wildest dreams imagine that the doorstop that I needed in the colour that I preferred would be under a tree in a park? No. Did I give the doorstop significant thinking time? Yes, I did. I'm still blown away over 3.5 years later with how simple this was. But the lesson that I gained is that what we think, we create. And so that can be both negative and positive. If we catch ourselves thinking negatively, that is what we tend to attract, or we feel like we're on a spiral of. If we find that we're thinking about good things and they come, we then find that everything else starts to go in an upward spiral. So that is how, if we want to choose the word manifested, it appeared, visual creative visualization, Doorstop. Same happened with the daughter. 2 weeks before we conceived our daughter, after being told and discounted from our local fertility hospital that we would ever have children of our own, predominantly because of my age, she did actually go on to the vision board. So there she is, just on there. And that was literally 2 weeks before we conceived her. When I look at the image that I put of Olive on the vision board and actually her in real life, yes, it is a 10-month-old child, but it is uncannily similar, isn't it? So those are just a couple of the examples that actually stay with me, and I do share very frequently. As the weeks go by, there may be other things that I remember and I'll share, but I'd also love to share, when has there been a time that you've really put thought into something and then it's happened? And most importantly, when did it happen in a way that you didn't expect or anticipate? So excited to be on this journey with you all. Who knows what we're all going to attract into our lives. Thank you.